The U.S. has taken its campaign against Chinese telecoms underwater. Sources have exclusively told Reuters that Washington has warned Pacific Island nations against accepting a cut-price offer to build an undersea internet cable in the Pacific from China's Huawei Marine. It's a nearly $73 million project, bankrolled in part by the World Bank, designed to give an internet boost to Nauru, Micronesia, and Kiribati. The sources say Washington flagged its concerns to Micronesia, a move that sparked an angry response from China's foreign ministry. Another of the countries involved, Nauru, has also signaled concern, although the third, Kiribati, has taken a more favorable approach after establishing formal diplomatic ties with China last year.
All right, let's now shift our attention to Nigeria, where, according to reports, the schoolboys, the 300-odd schoolboys, had been abducted almost about a week ago. We're now given to understand are now being reunited with their families. These are live visuals that we are getting of these 300-odd children, school children, who've been abducted from their school. And now they will be reunited with their families. Remember, this was said to be one of the most gruesome incidents that's been reported in Nigeria, where from a government school, these young children had been abducted. What initially many believed was the handiwork of bandits, where they had kidnapped them for ransom. Later, the Islamist group Boko-Haram had claimed responsibility for this incident.
Kate, these neighbors have sent a letter. It's sort of like a cease and desist. What can you tell us about it?
It is sort of like that. What it is basically reminding the town that Donald Trump, when he agreed to switch the private Mar-a-Lago estate into the private Mar-a-Lago club, agreed that he would not be a resident there for more than a consecutive 3 weeks, right? So any member, himself included, could not live there for more than 21 days. So that agreement is now being put back into the forefront with a letter from neighbor's attorney saying, remember this agreement you signed, you cannot be legally a resident of the place where ostensibly you're going to move as soon as your presidency is over in January.
Coronavirus seems far from reality on Copacabana Beach or on the streets of Rio, where masks and social distancing are a rarity. But the pandemic is still very much present in Brazil. On Thursday, the country recorded more than 1,000 deaths in 24 hours and nearly 70,000 new cases. Brazil has seen a resurgence of infections since November, and there is concern that end-of-year festivities will fuel the spike. The government recently unveiled its national immunisation plan, though it has already been criticised for its lack of detail and having no clear start date. Brazil's health watchdog is yet to have approved any vaccine for general use. Meanwhile, there are mixed messages over whether the jab will be compulsory.
Athletes competing without their flag and national anthem. This was Russian competitors at the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Games, playing as neutral contenders. It's a sight sports fans are set to see more of, following the CSA's decision to uphold the World Anti-Doping Agency's sanctions against the Russian team. This after the regulators accused officials there of running a state-sponsored doping program. Back in December 2019, WADA banned Russia from all of the world's top sporting events for 4 years. This after whistleblowers revealed state-backed doping at the 2014 Sochi Winter Olympics. But the CSA's final ruling has halved the sanctions issued by WADA to just 2 years. The decision means Russia will not be able to enter teams in next year's Tokyo Olympics or the 2022 Beijing Winter Games.
Raji Abdi on the side of the road in the green shirt, his hands by his side, backing away from police. This dashcam vision capturing the standoff just minutes before he was shot dead.
It raises more questions than the answers.
Abdi, the former Brisbane private school student turned Islamic State supporter, is now the main suspect in a double murder investigation. Accused of stabbing elderly Parkinson couple Maurice and Zoe Antill, police say the motivation was terrorism.
This is a very real example of the fact that terrorism can happen in many different ways.
Detectives conducted a welfare check at this home late yesterday after residents raised the alarm. Inside, they were confronted with a sickening and brutal scene. They're yet to confirm when the couple was killed.
All right, now, according to reports, China is planning to begin its mass vaccination program for its citizens. This despite not having gotten approval for its vaccine. The Chinese health officials are planning to begin the inoculation drive from the southwestern Sichuan province by early next year. For general public, China has already vaccinated at least about 1 million people, mostly the high priority groups, such as the elderly and also those who are in the care homes, after the vaccine candidates were approved for emergency use. A provincial health official said that the vaccines will be provided to the general public in the Sichuan province after the Lunar New Year's holiday in February next year. Over 118,000 doses have arrived in the province, and the officials are planning to inoculate high-risk groups by the 5th of February before rolling out the program for others.
An earthquake struck Delhi late December 17 night of magnitude 4.2 with epicenter in Rajasthan's Alwar. It was a medium-intensity quake with no damage caused to life or property. Earlier this year, the national capital had experienced many tremors of low to medium intensity, prompting fears of an impending massive earthquake. Earlier this month, as many as 19 earthquakes of magnitudes in the range of 1.7 to 3.3 were felt in Gujarat's Gir Somnath district. Is there any reason to fear these seismic activities? Apparently not. Experts say Delhi and its surrounding areas, and this would extend till Jaipur, Ajmer, Mount Abu and the Aravalis, usually experience between 2 and 3 earthquakes of magnitude 2.5 and above every month.
The rising violence in Afghanistan, the U.S. Joint Chief of Staff Chairman met with the Taliban. The top U.S. general held unannounced talks with the Taliban negotiators in Doha and has urged for a reduction in violence across the country. On Tuesday, the top American general met for about 2 hours with the Taliban negotiators. He then flew to Kabul to discuss the peace process with the Afghan President Ashraf Ghani. The meeting comes as senior American officials in Kabul have warned that stepped-up Taliban attacks actually endanger the peace negotiations with the Afghan government. Now, the top general has been reported as saying that most important part of the discussions that he had with both the Taliban and also with the government of Afghanistan was the need for an immediate reduction in violence.
show me clear from this accident on